This is my DJ tutorial on my equipment. I literally get requests every single week. Would you please show us how you set up the equipment? You know, from noobs that haven't done it yet. They want to know what they need, how much they paid for it, blah, blah, blah. Well, this is everything I take on a gig with me. I'm going to show you exactly what I have and how I use it. The reason why I didn't make this video sooner is because I don't have cutting-edge equipment. Most YouTube informative videos are about, you know, brand new pieces that just came out and they're showing you how to use all the buttons and all that stuff so you can decide if you want to buy it. My stuff is pretty cheap, pretty basic. Let's get to it. First of all, speaker poles. You loosen up the bottom, you open up the legs, you retighten them. You open up the top half, that allows this pole to drop to the top. This is very important. You don't want to lose this. I know so many DJs that lose this and get miserable because you can't replace them. You put it in there, tighten it back up, and your speaker poles are set to go. Now, I, after spinning with vinyl for years and years as a kid, got this job spinning in a DJ booth that was CD only. So I worked there for 4 years. So that was when I made the transition over from being a vinyl DJ to a CD DJ. And I hadn't spun vinyl in years anyway. That's when I first just got back into DJing. After taking off, you know, for college, learning about life, you know. So this is a speaker stand. I probably should have started by saying you have to have a hand truck. You need a hand truck so you can go in and out of places with all your stuff piled, and it's real simple, and you get in there, you can, you know, slide it onto the stage, and it's done. Proline stand. This is a Proline keyboard stand. Those are Proline speaker poles. This is what we call a coffin. A coffin back in the day would have a mixing board and 2 turntables. It would be much larger. This is just for a CD Mix 2. There's a guy out there that custom makes cases for the CD Mix 2. So my darling wife got me one. The unit is pretty basic. It is basically a mixer and a 2 CD player system in one. There's a little hole in the back of it where I will pull the plug out. This basic power strip, that's going right into the wall. The power on this thing is coming through the hole in the back and going down into the power cord. Not rocket science. The microphone gets plugged into a little hole in the back right here. This is just a basic wired mic, so this is not cutting-edge technology. And I use a one-eared headphone. Simple as that. Microphone, headphone, 2 CDs, and a mixer, ready to go. And then I take the top of the coffin, stick it up here, so that way when I'm mixing, I can have my music right there at my disposal. Anything I want to mix, that's right there. I can mess around, change tracks, whatever I want to do. The last thing is, of course, the speakers. I certainly recommend that you guys get speaker bags. Paula got me these Gators. I don't know if you can see the emblem down there from where you are, but Gator bags are pretty good. They call them Gator cases. And they hold the Mackie 450s, which are my amplified speakers that I use. The amplifier's built into them. That's why there is no amplifier unit. And it's really basic. Here's the back of it. Real simple. This plug goes in there. Plug it into the power strip. And the speakers are equally simple. The 3 males go in here. And then this will come around through that little hole I talked about in the back of the mixer. And then into the back of the mixing board. Really very, very simple. Press pause, and I'll take you through part 2 of this tutorial. Alright, I plugged in all the stuff. As you can see, it's very simple. There's only a power cord and a speaker wire coming out of each speaker. The speaker wires go right into the back of the mixer. Obviously, the plugs go into the power strip on the floor. And I set up my little rug. You should have something to help your ankles when you're on a gig, because you do a lot of gigs on marble floors, wood floors. You should have something padded there for you to stand on. And let's just talk basic mixing. I find, and I think that most good club DJs out there the one thing that we all do as we transition from song to song, this is just, for the noobs here. When you're playing a song that's got 108 beats per minute, and you're about to go into a song that's 104, what do you got to do? You're slowing down the tempo. So what you're slowly going to do while you're playing that faster record is you're slowly just going to bring it down a little bit, and you're going to bring up the record you're about to play so that they meet in the middle. And then you sit there and you listen to the beats, and once you know you have the time signature set perfectly, you're ready to mix in the new track. Now what I do, and I find that most DJs do this, is the new song, as it comes in, is just slightly louder and slightly faster than it would normally be. And it just gives the illusion of the mix getting even better. It's just the impact of the new song hits the room. Boom! There's a new song. Oh, this is cool. And so you might want to do that. Even bringing pitch control down. If I have a fast dance record that's playing, it's normally at 116 and I'm playing it at 120 and it's got the room going, maybe I'll bring it back down to 116 and slow it down just a little bit so they're not fully hyper. And then when the new song comes on, boom, and now we're back to 120 and boom, boom, boom. It's totally a subtle thing that they will not notice in the crowd, but it'll make you seem like each new song is that much more, bam, let's ride this now. We're going to ride this for a little while. And then boom, into the next song. Now the way I've set up my mixing board, my CDs that I choose to mix at my gigs, hey guys, now what I was about to say was, the way I set up the mix CDs that I use there, I have all kinds of CDs in all kinds of genres, but for the sake of argument, here's an old school mix CD. Now, I have 2 copies of the disc so that I can put them in both things and go in and out of the same BPMs over and over again. Think about it, 115 beats per minute, you got Me, Myself and I, Mary Mary, Apache, Cantaloupe, Juice, Treat 'Em Right, Brass Monkey, Can't Do Nothing For Ya, Bust a Move. These are all in 115, 117 BPMs. So for the sake of argument, we'll use this disc for today, okay? And like I was saying, you really just want to mix so that... Yeah, can I start this one over?
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Not rocket science. You guys should really know how to mix all your stuff anyway. I'm sure you have songs that you practice with. But the point is, you can have, by making 2 of the same disc and by making them by BPMs, it will be easier for you to be able to plan your attack. You'll be able to look at your hot zones. These songs are the ones that work at parties. I use Groove Is in the Heart and The Breaker's Revenge and Bring the Noise and Din Da Da for the really fast, or Pushy and it's Push It and It's Tricky go really well together. You're going to have little nuances there. How many of you guys out there mix Hypnotize into Don't Want to Be a Player No More? Or If I Ruled the World? They're all right there. A lot of songs just work well together. So that's what you want to do, is kind of set up your set, and so you can kind of look. If I'm doing slow stuff, think about Empire State of Mind. That is a very low BPM. And normally when you have the crowd jumping, it's when you're playing faster BPM. So if you got to get that song into your set, you've got to find other slower songs. Because don't be fooled that only songs with fast BPMs are good for the dance floor. There are BPMs that are 95, 96, but they work perfectly for the dance floor. It's just, I can't really explain it, why there are some songs that are 66 BPMs that are good for dancing. It's ridiculous, but it's true. And you need to learn what songs work well together through the 70s, through the 80s, through the 90s. I mean, most hip-hop beats are between like 83 and 122. So those of us that work in hip-hop know we're going to kind of be in there, but if you got club music and house music or even rock, you know how many rock songs are up in the 150s or whatever? And I set up a rock book. Where is that? Look at this. I set myself up with a rock book. Come on over here, baby, and shoot downward. This rock book has new wave and rock set up by BPM, so I can go. I know that Love Shack and Stray Cat Strut may seem like it's not as fast as Love Shack and Would I Lie to You, but For whatever reason, it is. It's just the tempo is just slightly different. Now you can do this in half beats. Like you could always take half of these BPMs and then mix this with something that's whatever 67 BPMs. You can always cut something in half. But I just hope that this is helpful for you. Like look at this. I know that Train in Vain and Radio Clash are the same BPM. So if I'm doing a little Clash set for some punk rockers, they'll love that. Going and look, I got Jane's Addiction right here, Rusted Root, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, and Knock Me Down, Send Me On My Way. They all work well together. So anyway, that's it for that. I just wanted you guys to be able to get a little taste of how a CD DJ works and how particularly my stuff works. I will work more specifically on what the CD Mix 2 does in my next video. We'll talk about looping and re-looping and the cue buttons, microphone buttons, and all that. Till then, I hope this was helpful, guys. Peace.